I think we may start because everyone is here and all our speakers are here, not to make people wait, because we have people who have to be in time and have other plans as well. Dear colleagues, dear friends, dear teachers, dear lovely, lovely friends, thank you very much for being with us. This is the third session on Vaganova method. Sessions of seminars. We had very interesting roads that told all the information regarding Vaganova herself, starting from her roots, that she's Armenian. Her real surname used to be Vahanyan, Agrippina Vahanyan. She did a big work in order to make the dance more correct, in order to be taught much more easier. And I want to give the welcoming speech and the welcoming microphone to the President of the International Dance Council, Professor Dr. Alkis Raptis, from Athens, from Greece, from our President's Office, International Dance Council. Dr. Raptis, microphone is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I hope the sound is okay. Let me insist that everyone write their full name and country after their name. This is a rule for all CID events. So please write your full name and country. For example, Mrs. Liza Anissutfen, which I know very well. Please write USA after your name and eventually the name of your cat, because I can see the cat is taking part as well. So we need the name of the cat as well. So Mrs. Caroline Lox, Madame Jacqueline Croustilla, please write your name, and all the others. We need your name because in a way you represent your country. And I would like to congratulate Mrs. Saribekyan once more for hosting this teleconference, the third one on Vaganova. I would like also to inform you that there is another meeting next month.
Oh, finally, I could not go in.
Another meeting next month about another great name in the teaching of ballet. Who everyone knows, Enrico Cecchetti, and it is the Italian section of Venice hosting that meeting. So don't miss it next month, because as you know, Cecchetti was the first to standardize the teaching of ballet, and then Vaganova elaborated on his method. So Cecchetti is another great name in the teaching of ballet. There are also other teleconferences that have been announced through the CID circular that you receive every month, and you are welcome to take part that meetings too. We have more and more teleconferences by CID sections on various subjects coming next month. We want to deal also with other forms of dance, like dance therapy, like folk dance, and what else? We already have a series of very successful teleconferences by the Paris section on dance and spirituality. And you will see the dates of also an important meeting on dance and sculpture. So the philosophy of our teleconferences is that we focus, first of all, on the teaching rather than performing, and then that we want to share knowledge and developments about the various things. So we do not intend to promote the work of individual artists, but to give overall view of the subject by inviting various speakers. And then we encourage the discussion after the conferences, so where everyone is encouraged to take part and their views. With this, I would like to congratulate once more Anahit Saribekyan for hosting this meeting, and I'm looking forward to being in touch with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. The meeting is organized by the Nizhny Novgorod section, Russia, of the International Dance Council. And all the idea and concept was created by President of the International Dance Council, Dr. Anahit. Thank you very much for all the work you have organized behind these webinars. And you all are welcome to participate in our projects, programs. The coming live one will be in July in Athens, World Congress on Dance Researches. If you are interested to participate on World Congress of Dance Researches, please write us. We will be very happy to be useful to give you more detailed information, how you may participate, introduce your lectures, presentations, give workshops, and even to perform on a beautiful theater, Dora Stratou, in Athens, in the center, under the Acropolis. Very beautiful place. About this, I will tell in the end also more detailed. And now the microphone is going to be given to our lovely, my favorite, Mr. Max Ratevosyan, who is Armenian. I'm so happy that we found him and he agreed to participate in our webinar. Thank you so, so much. I know your time is super precious and you are going to give us another lecture, another precious information, and right from the Academy of Vaganova. Thank you very much for being with us from Canada. The microphone is yours, Mr. Ratevosyan.
Good morning, good day,
Good morning,
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My grand regard for all of you, for Mr. Alkis Raftis, Anahit for you, and for all of you. I'm happy to be a member of this organization and pass my knowledge. First, I'd like to start famous scientist from period of enlightenment, period German philosopher, Holhert Ephraim Lessing. Grace is the beauty of the movement. Because ballet, it's grace, grazie. It's very, very important to know about that. He wrote about that in 700s in a great history of Lacaon, but this is a long story, we don't have to talk about that. Let's start about our ballet training, ballet exercises. It's very first, I'd like to start essential requirement for classical dance. This is very important. Light extension, flexibility, aplomb, posture, pirouettes, and small and grand turns, very light and high jump, free movement for arms, great port de bras, and of course, great coordination and strength and stamina. Each one is very important. All these things, we have to start first 3 years work. Last time when we have conversation, I talk very little about that. First 3 years, teacher, they built our posture, our back, spine, very stronger pillar. And round of there, after other dancers, they make, other teachers, they make in middle level, they make all preparations for turns, for jumps, plus last 3 years, how before Vaganova's period student, they study 9 years program. Now we have 8 years program. And next 3 years, they've broken all of that. But your back spine, it's ready there. Already you can do, if you do balance, you can go like, I mean, it's everything, it's in some incorrect position. Let's first start with order of bar works. Each one very, very important. Vaganova change, I mean, she doesn't change, she adds so many things because almost she gets to have something, but her order, it's very exactly has to be Batman. Batman fondu, Batman soutenu can be middle level together, Batman frappé, Batman double frappé, rond de jambe en l'air, développé, each one we call adagio, petit battement sur le coup des pieds, with double frappé we can mix together. Of course, grand battement, very end. This is Vaganova system, each one, it's very important and it's very interesting. Many years ago when I teach classes, I have in my class guest martial art teacher, karate teacher. He asked me, Mr. Max, I am confused, very interesting for me. Ballet dancers and karate martial art person is very skinny, very slim and very strong, and they can work hour and hour, but in ballet is the same. What is different? What happened? I told you, if you watch our class, we can talk about that. Because in our class, when we do bar work, each one I told, tendu, jeté, plié, frappé, etc., everything. This is exactly, if we do plié, I know very often I heard about, Russians, they have very heavy plié and they make heavy muscles. No, I have Russian built Vaganova method legs. My legs is not heavy. It's come teachers because order that help us. If we do slow plié, of course, its muscles is blow up. If we do slow développé, again, muscles is blow, it come bigger. But when we do frappé, we do light fondu or light rond de jambe en l'air, that make slim and long body. And this gentleman, karate gentleman, he says exactly they have not slim that kind of exercise. Each one we have exactly same kind of. They have fast, sharp, very tough, very energetic movements. That because very first year students when they study at the bar, very first steps, it's almost everything is separately, just everything face the bar, slow, slow, slow. And then we develop, I mean, it's when we know face the bar we can do, then we turn side of bar by one arm, and we start with port de bras, everything. Very important to talk about at the bar, relevé, demi-points. I know I have experience, teach some schools when, excuse me, they don't have at the bar almost relevé, demi-point. That is very, very important. First of all, legs come stronger. In general, for girls, this is very, very important because from grade 1 already, our students, they start go high demi-point and low demi-point too. I tell you what is why it's low demi-point. Vaganova like to teach low demi-point. By low demi-point, we can stay perfect turnout. All this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, I understand it's like for professional school, for professional dancers, for future. we need perfect turnout, absolutely perfect turnout. Like last time we talked about position, when Pierre Beauchamp, 1660, built our positions, still now we have the same. Blazes changed a little bit different. His fifth position, it's towards it come out because he covered this hole between feet. That it's aesthetic movement. Vaganova bring back because our body is totally different. We dress with it now a different way. Yeah. But demi-point, low demi-point, it's hard to stay on low demi-point and muscles go crazy. And each exercise when I did with my teachers, very end they tell me finish our turnout. We develop our turnout not by working leg. We develop our turnout by standing leg. Always we have to follow standing leg has to be absolutely turnout. Even working leg a little bit no turning, but when you work in couple of months, not in couple of years, in couple of months your turnout is come there. Honestly, I have to tell I don't have excellent turnout, but when I dance, I show my exercise to now my students, oh, Mr. Max, you have excellent turnout. When I sit down, never I did frat, I can't. This is my nature. But when I work, my turnout, absolutely my legal side. That is, God bless, thank you very much for my teachers. You know, why it's develop a demi-point is very important for girls because muscles go stronger if, and they are ready for go on the point. They are ready when they come center. They do on the point easily. And start from first year, we have just very few exercises, like 5 or 6 exercises, échappé, relevé, sample, few steps, very, very little. But during the year, they have lots of demi-point work, lots of demi-point work. You know, I know very often, again, people ask me how long I teach point class. Point class during the regular class, in the week, maybe 2, maximum 3 times, 15, 20 minutes. I don't have extra class for point. This is Vaganova method, Vaganova system. And very often I hear about Russians very strong on the point. They work on and out. Yes, except point work, they have rehearsal, they do lots of work on the point too. But in ballet class, we don't have extra class for point work. That it's about demi-points. About coordination of arms. Arms, each one help us for jumps, for tool. For example, ballet first preparation. Everyone can or plié 2, or button form 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2. That is for future. Help me for jumps. Grand jeté, jeté entrelacé. At the bar already we prepare our corps de bras. Each one help us for jumps for 2. Regular preparation. Very first, I don't know how now people teach, but how I study, this is come all Chiketi method. Ladies, boys and girls, first pirouette from second position. Demi-point, plié. Demi-point, plié. Preparation. And the same underdone. All energy come from outside of arm. If I turn to the right, my tool is go. My energy is standing for working from working leg and from opposite side arm. Right arm, when I learn preparation, right arm brings me on the leg. On the leg. All tools come from opposite side. Underdone here. 1, my left arm brings me back. All energy comes from standing heel and right leg. This is old Italian school. We call Italian school, not just Cicchetti, because except Cicchetti, in Russia we have Lignani, Brianz, so many ballerinas. I have teachers who study with old Italian ballerinas. That about arms, each one very important. Except that one, for my students, all the time I tell, if I have sauté this much, it's come 3 times higher. This much and this much. If we work correctly with arms. That again, I have to tell, it's come from grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Coordinate arms and legs work together. That is very, very important. Other things, absolutely very important, musical material. What kind of music for grade 1, 2, 3, and up at advanced level? I know so many, I mean, now, so sorry, not everybody has possibility to have pianists in the class or teachers who, before they play on the violin, I have teachers who play on the violin and teach us ballet. But now it's record. But it's better if it's professional school, better have piano player. And for beginners level, first 3 years minimum, exactly by notes, they have to play. No improvise. For some small things, in the end of the class, do some small dance, it's welcome. But when a student, they have to listen, and it has to be very simple. Read has to be very, I mean, it's understood for kids. They have to feel rhythm. And music only by notes. And repeat same exactly, because this is very, very important for students. Advanced level, already we can have with notes and improvise. But when we improvise, for example, one side I do gran allegro, other side pianists play other one, that is wrong too. They have to repeat absolutely some improvisation for other leg, other side. This is very important about music. Most important things too, it's connection movements. Everybody knows we have glissade, we have chassé, we have pas de bourrée, we have many things with step, regular step, pas. Each one now, so sorry for modern dancers. I can start from today. I'm so sorry in the morning I have chance to watch Vaganova Ballet Academy. They put in internet new Esmeralda, some variation. I write some bad things about them. I'm so sorry they destroy it. So sorry them. Sorry. I have to talk about that too. You know, they tune, they jump very well, but no connection movements. No beautiful steps forward, no beautiful run, no beautiful pas de bourrées. Each one, it's very, dance, this is connection movements. It's not my words, it's come from old French, Italian teachers, from Blazis, from Novgorod, from other people, everybody talk about that. And today we ignore that one. We teach audience to how I can do more, and audience go crazy, he's fantastic. So sorry, we have to educated audience for beauty. Why very first I start lessing words, beauty, it's grace is beauty of movement. It's very, very important to take more attention for connection movements. Frappe alla Cicchetti and alla Vaganova. This is very important too, because still now people teach frappe, tell them, no, this is Vaganova, this is Russian, this is Italian. Both it's correct. I can tell it's wrong. But Vaganova, even if you have chance to go to internet, watch Marina Semyonova, one of best ballerina in the world. She's first student of Frappe alla Cicchetti. That one. It's not wrong. But Vaganova for students, they change because when you have this frappe, for students, for little kids, they have to stretch knee, teacher to stretch knee stronger, but they push in. Each one is very dangerous for knee part. Vaganova take out, she did I mean, it's old time, it's Italian school, they have both frappe, it's funny, now nobody talk about that. They have frappe this one, each one now we call Russian Vaganova, and they have that one. Yeah, and Vaganova that take out, and that frappe I use and I study in grade 4 in character class, each one we call gypsy flick frappe. It's so many different variations. But after 4 years, when my muscles stronger, when my frappe go out, it doesn't go in, I have no problem. Why? How I understand? Vaganova, she doesn't take out. She that live for character dance. But in ballet class, my sur le coup de pied. That about frappe. Développer retiré, développer devant, développer à la seconde, développer derrière, or passer à la seconde, passer derrière. About that, so sorry, even not Vaganova right in his book, her book, not in Bazarova and May, each one is fantastic, best ballet books for beginners level. Bazarova and May, they have first 3 years and 5. It's 5 years old method. For advanced level, we have just in the words one book. This is Nikolai Tarasov. Write down about Nikolai Tarasov after I can tell about why nobody wants to write for advanced level. It's very hard by my experience I can tell because for Gran Allegro, for example, big jumps, first of all, every teacher, they can feel different way and every dancer can do different way. Yes, we have rule. Steps or the bas, battement à la seconde and land coup de pied. But for advanced level already, for Grand Assemblée, we do, everybody is do different way. Why it's very hard to write that one. After I can talk about that one. Développer. When we développer devant or à la seconde, retirer devant. From forward, we go forward. Please, close. But when I have to go side, I hope you can see well. I go up, here you see it, perfect turn out. But I don't turn anything, so I don't go over because I have to go side here. When I open like this way, my leg, you see, go forward. What I have to do? I have to go much more higher and bring side. Then my leg exactly come à la seconde. That one thing, the same from back foot. Let's develop higher head and back and from side, then side. Other things when I have retiré développé devant, passer à la seconde or passer devant again. That Bazarova I can talk about. We don't have to come forward. You have to bring side, like first position. Side, side derrière. Only side, side. I have to bring forward when I have to, for example, develop the devant, passer, I have to stay. Then my leg here. If my leg in side position, they be here, under the knee or higher than knee. I have to sit on the hip for balance. Why I have to bring forward? Not side. We have to be here. But when we have continued side, that is very, very important because we need posture, we need the base. One more things about little level I have here small book, classical dance, classical ballet, Tanliye. Here I have 20 this book, but number one, derrière number two, etc. Like that, we can make many Tanliyes. For Vaganova, we have just 10 or 12. Regular Tanliye on the floor, regular Tanliye on the floor with bent back and side. Tanliye développé, 90 degree, Tanliye with pirouettes, Tanliye on the point, se sont tombés Tanliye, etc. Like that, we have 10 or 12. I mean, it's not. Even, I remember when I studied for the brass, my teacher who studied with Marie Perini in Georgia, then he studied in Petersburg, Old Petersburg, St. Petersburg, a real one, not new one. He told their teacher, they learn 49 pour de brass. Now we know Vaganova has only 6 pour de bras, only 6. When he told me, not us, not me, we have 49 pour de bras, my hand go up, I tell, why not 50? He kicked me out from the class. Why you kick me? He says, after class, he says, okay, stay, you can work after class, we can do. After class, he told me, you know, that for me question too. In that time, when we study, we have no right ask teacher stupid question. Excuse me, why not 50, not 49? He says, I don't know still now, because I can tell you, they have 49 pour de bras. What is this 49 pour de bras? For example, number one, very simple pour de bras. If we go up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and other way, it's number 2, or second pour de bras, croisé, effacé, like that, they have many pour de bras. Vaganova take everything out, because we have croisé, we have effacé, we have closed arms croisé, open arms croisé, etc. We don't need put numbers. For students, it's very hard. Vaganova, and the same arms position, allonge, A position. No? But this is my arms. If this is for now, Vaganova préparatoire, first position, third position, second position. That's it. This is not fourth position. My right arm in first position, left arm in third position, etc. It's easy for students. She make our life for teachers and for students very easy and simple. The same pour de bras. She leave only 6 pour de bras. Like that, we can talk about, I mean, it's how Vaganova help us, give fantastic, I mean, it's easy to dance well, easy to develop our exercises. The center work, we have tsiadage and granadage. Of course, granadage we do after middle level, granadage. What is this granadage? In granadage, Vaganova or other teachers, we can see even big jumps. This is very important for teachers and for students. If students can dance granadage, that student's already dancer, because it's already small choreography, small dance. Connected technical movement plus jumps plus turn. Of course, we talk about connection movements, each one in adage, excuse me, so many connection movements. Granadage. Tsiadage originally, Vaganova system, we do tsiadage and raidway, we continue battement tendu, battement jeté. I have very often that question too when I show that kind of exercise. There's why after adage raidway you do battement tendu? Because students on the stage, they not all the time they dance slow or dance fast. Movement to dance or fast or slow or sharp or smooth, like battement fondu, etc. This is very, very important too. Of course, at a center work, young level, grade 1, 2, 3, all exercises, each one we do at the bar, we repeat almost everything in center. Of course, it's an exception when some days we have to do more jumps or teach new steps, something we take out, but all steps, center work, we have to teach. And very, very important, start from grade 1, grade 2, grade 1, we do center work, very little, demi points, very little. But grade 2 already, so many steps, we have almost everything. Each one is possible, of course, not battement tango, rangement l'air, battement fondu, adagio, on demi point, on demi point. Each one, this is for coordination, for strength, for stamina, it's very, very important. That, I think that it's enough, and I like to listen from your questions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, please. You may unmute yourself if you have questions, and forward to Mr. Ratevosyan. Also, I want to tell you, if you did not hear something or something is missing from his speech, you are welcome to write to him. I have already written his email in our chat. Until now, I don't see anyone asking any question. Mr. Ratevosyan,
yes, somebody has a question. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, how are you? From Peru.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
I missed the name of, I'm interested in learning very good the Tanlier because it's a very important step in Vaganova method. And we lost the name of the book.
Excuse me, I don't hear Tanlier, and after that?
You said the name of a book that you have of Tanlier. Maybe we can.
No, this book you can. This is Russian and printed 1961. I'm sorry, even in Russia you can find it. If you're interested, I can make some copies. I can send you. But this is in Russian.
Yeah, I have students that are from Russian, the parents, so they can help me to translate.
Okay.
I will write to you an email. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but yes, please. But here it's for you. It's better. I have music material too here. I have huge material. Each one is very, very important. I can make copy, and I can ask somebody. I am very bad with technology. Somebody can help me. I can email for you.
So, dear colleagues, it's better to spend this time privately and send an email to Mr. Ratevosyan, and whatever you need from him, he's open and free. Feel free to write to him. I would like to give the microphone right now, Mrs. Madalena Denberg. If I pronounce your surname correctly, Madalena, are you here? I want to thank you so much for all the background work you did for the Vaganova 1 and 2, and all you that are informed about this webinar is thanks to these super beautiful girls' work. Madalena, are you here? She just came out. Great. Okay. Mrs. Ava, you had a question.
Yes, one quick question for Max, please.
Yes.
My question is, when you were speaking of connections, are you denoting a difference between transitions and connections, or is there no difference in your mind? Do you know what I mean?
Excuse me. You can repeat one more time because I don't hear. I'm sorry.
Yes. You were talking about connections.
Yes.
You know, little runs, etc. In the recent performance by the students at Vaganova. And in English, I refer to these as transition steps, possibly. Is this what you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Just making sure.
I'm sorry for my English. My English is terrible. I
was
come
my
to Canada, my students teach me. I have no time to go to school and study English. I'm so sorry.
No, I just want to make sure it's the same.
Yeah, it's
Thank
the
you.
same. You're right.
Okay.
So Miss Madalena has contacted us. She has some problems with the internet. Madalena, may you talk to us, or you still have a problem? No.
I
Yes.
might now not have a problem for this second, but what do you want me to say something? Yes, I just want to participate in this seminar from Sweden.
No, so I was confused. I'm searching for our trainee who helped
Oh.
us to organize our first two meetings. So her name is
Oh.
Madalena. I wanted to
It's
say,
not me,
yeah.
but thank you anyway.
Sorry. This is the
But
second
maybe
time I'm confused.
Yeah, but maybe I can put a question for Mr.
Sure, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Yes.
It was about the second Vaganova second port de bras, because I have two different versions, and I would like to talk about which one do you.
You will not show second port de bras?
Yeah, I know, but I have two versions. I
Ah.
have two different versions. Why you take one arm at a time, or in the first movement you take the both arms
No,
immediately.
First we have to prepare for that. One, two, three, and four. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is second port de bras.
Yeah.
It's correct. You have that one?
I'm sorry, but I missed just the beginning because my internet is problem. Just the
It's
beginning.
not only your internet, it's Max
Yeah.
Ratevosyan's internet has
Yeah,
a problem.
okay.
That's why I offer everyone to forward your question to Mr. Ratevosyan privately, because connection of his is not that.
No, I don't see him.
We start from this position.
Where?
Head to the left arm.
Oh.
2 seconds.
One, okay. Yes.
Allongé. Both arms move, one go up, third position of long-term preparatoire position. Then both arms meet together in first position. And again here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
This
If
is
you
the
want-
version I do.
If you want, I can show all 6 port de bras, no problem.
We have other speakers and they are waiting very much. Please forward all your questions to Mr. Ratevosyan via his email. He's open and free to answer. Or when we will have time after our meeting, maybe he can find the time to answer onto all your questions. Mr. Ratevosyan, you may pass through the chat as well, because there are people who has written. I will forward you on email as well, chat. The next speaker of ours is Miss Lisa Nish Sutfen from USA. Miss Lisa, are you here? I could see that you were preparing a room and a space to show us.
Well, just a little bit towards the end, but basically, number one, this is my first streaming meeting, so if I make mistakes, please don't judge me badly. My name is Lisa Nish Sutfen, and I'm here in San Francisco, California, where I'm the founder of the Young Dancer Project. The name of my company is Dance and Fitness Concepts. The Young Dancer Project is a large-scale effort to bring dance of all forms, both social and cultural, back into the schools where they once were and now are not. My experience with the Vaganova method was when I started dancing back in the late 1960s. My father took me to a specialized school a couple cities away where I worked at the DEN school, short for Denidova. Shortly after, well, 5 years later, the owner of that school decided to join the B sport, and I went to another, which only taught Jiketi method. It was associated with a local, with the city's ballet academy. And I found there was a very large difference in the instruction and the standards that were set. Further work after that, I'm now primarily a ballroom dancer and dance sport judge. So since 2007 until shortly before COVID, I was spending my time developing dance-based formats for health and fitness for a number of government agencies. This was in an effort to gain mentorship for the dance itself, to start to resolve differences between different dancing groups, and to perpetuate dances which in this country have been hidden in pockets of the nation, struggling to survive by a few people in their preservation groups. Now, during the process of developing programs, as we got toward the end, before the YMCA of the USA accepted the proposal, I was sent to study 3 different school programs that they had that with which they had contracts with the government to complete. Number 1 was the after-school program, which we had tested for 3 years, and it fit the system very, very well. There wasn't a dry eye in the house at the final event where all 14 schools got together to show what they had learned. There was also the arts model, which already is in practice with Presidio Dance Theater. The arts model is where you pair yourself with community partners associated with the large performance halls. An example, San Francisco Ballet and Davies Symphony Hall and Herbst Theater. What you do is you offer scholarship programs to youth of more subtle means, and at the end of your program, your dancers perform in a large hall to a full paying audience, and they are trained in the experience of what it's like to work professionally in the dance field. Then finally, I was sent to a group at St. Ignatius Academy, a preparatory school. The name of that group was Murray Athletic Development. Murray Athletic Development primarily works with youth in basketball. They also work in football. So the application of the Vaganova method here, we had to take a look at what the desired goal was with these youth and what foundations of Vaganova could be applied. Number 1, alignment. This was first and foremost because it gave us lots of information as to youth that had strength or had not strength or had inequities that needed to be dealt with. And this was dealt with in a fitness manner of applying yoga, Pilates, and weight work in order to reconstruct, realign, and get back in touch with the body as a whole. At one point in working with Ali Thomas, the head coach of that program, and with John Murray, the founder and director of that program, we developed a number of different methods using the concepts of the 7 swings of the body and the 3 planes of motion. And by using those basic structures, we were able to design a number of skill sets, and I'll be showing one of those in a moment. Now, what we mean by the 7 swings, These are also applied in ballroom and dance sport. Number one, you have the lower leg swing, which propels us off one foot onto another. There was an analysis of the basic walk as having 5 points: the lift, kick, flick, strike, and roll through the foot. This was worked with a number of interns from local universities who were in the program, as well as a assistant coach and 2 assistants to that coach. Then we also have side swing, literally moving side to side, upswing, where I'm launching off the ground, downswing, where I'm working to a duck in order to avoid people hovering overhead to try to gain control of the ball in the field. Then we had internal and external swing, and these I'll be demonstrating in a moment. And then, of course, we have the dreaded metronomic swing, where I swing my body over my foot and lose my balance. Not highly desired. So a good example of how these motions were applied in a simple training had to do with a player on our local Golden State Warriors team, a fellow by the name of Seth Curry. Not known for his height, in fact, one of the shortest men in the league. He was always outrunning everybody on the floor, up and down the court, and fabulous at shooting, which made him very much the star. One of his signature motions is something that locally we call the roll-off. And what that employs is the principles of internal and external rotation. Now, internal rotation is where, without traveling my feet, I turn around my spine. That's my internal rotation. My external rotation is when I pass one foot. And I post through that specific side as the other side passes on. Something that, of course, we use when we're working on the turn. But more importantly, these were put together in an exercise that had every boy who took part in it very excited about their own possibilities as players. So what we did, we lined 2 people up, back to back with the ball. And of course, this is not a basketball. So we had them line up back to back, drop down, and exchange the ball from one person to another, with contact being the only information that they got. And passing this around in an action we call around the world. So, first whistle, I'd be going and exchanging, taking the ball around in a circle between myself and my partner in the exercise. Second whistle, what I do is I turn and step off. No, second whistle, my apologies. If I was turning toward the sun, I would turn away and exchange balls both directions. Then third, I turn and step off and go for the basket, whoever had the ball. Putting these 3 simple actions together showed that with just the proper employment of internal versus external rotation in a manner that is well lined up, well controlled, you wind up getting past your blocker, your opponent, every single time. Just one very simple action. Now, in terms of the program development for each individual use, we had 4 methods of assessment. Number 1, of course, alignment. Number two, overall body strength. We had youths that were very well built and looked like they'd been running since they were able to get up on their feet. And then those who had that typical ice-sit-a-lot position, where the body drops down, the knees and the toes do not line up in the sagittal plane. And then we had those who, because of their size, thought that they would get into things naturally. Realignment of the body, balancing out the body strength, then the mind-body connection. How good were they at repeating a specific skill and taking that control? And then finally, and most importantly, in the game of sport, reaction time. How does one deal with a challenge to their planned direction? And these principles were aligned in order to bring all these individuals from ages 7 to 14 in 3 hours of after-school programs up to a higher level of achievement. So what happened with that program? In the end, they were there on an actual tryout, auditioning to be the athletic development group for that school. They competed against 4 other athletic development groups, and they wound up getting that contract. I don't want to say that applying just these very overly simplified points to their program had anything to do with it, but it certainly looked like it did, rather than have the kids run up and down the court. We had them do specific exercises to develop specific skills so that they would be able to perform to the situation at hand, rather than run to one and run to another and then deal with a flurry of battling activity there. So, my goodness, 3 planes of motion. Of course, we're dealing with the sagittal, we're dealing with the frontal, we're dealing with the transverse. As far as the program itself, even during COVID, as things shut down, they were still able to hold open air camps, which was part of their initial contract for getting that contract with preparatory academies. They had to go out and do work in the public schools at the street level. This is part of what occurs with social service. These 3 initiating programs for which government money is applied are the way that we can get dancers of all types, dance studios, professional individuals, to start to appreciate recovery and a new model that is based more on community partners working all together as a single unit, rather than that capitalist model where you try to build a building so high that it topples very easily. The program itself, the Young Dancer Project, we have just had 2 national hip hop cultural organizations begin their spring program here in the Western Addition section of San Francisco. Once they go through their first test season, their organizations will get an opportunity to start these programs in other cities in the country. And this represents expanding that dance base and information regarding health and wellness and how important physical activity, especially fun physical activity, takes a very huge part. I believe I'm going to be discussing next week the actual origins of the Young Dancer Project, how I came into it and how I wound up here. So any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Olympia. Thank you, Ms. Lizanish. The next speaker of ours will be Miss Olympia. Please get ready. Miss Lizanish, thing is that you have said the key word, active. The person must be active in his dance, whether it's professional or amateur. What you have shown us, I have studied how to teach amateur people for the teaching for amateur people in order to keep their body active, in order to keep them alive. Their physical activities must be more like not sitting all the time, because and it can be done only through dance. And thanks to dance, people's mind is becoming more open. Regarding your project, we will talk in our other meetings as well. Miss Lizanish has done a lot of work in order to help Africans, and it needs another time. So if you have questions, please write to her. Miss Lizanish, please write your email so people may contact you. Mr. Radevosyan, thank you for staying tuned with us. I think that in the end, we will have a lot of questions to you. Yes? Unmute yourself. We cannot hear you. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, if you have time after a few seconds for about Tarasov.
Yes, sure. Sure.
Yeah.
We have next speakers, two next speakers, and after that we will have for sure time in order to talk and come back to you. And Ms. Lizanish also has shared her email in our chat to everyone, so you may contact her directly and forward all your questions. Our next speaker is Miss Olympia Cristina Ceta from Romania. Miss Olympia?
May I? Hello.
Yeah, sure. Hello,
Yes.
hello.
So hello to everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for this great opportunity to be invited to take part of this multinational seminar, webinar. I'm so proud of this. And thank you, Mrs. Anahit. And hello, Dr. Alkins Rapsis, the president. My name is Olympia Cheța, and I'm from beautiful country, Romania. I have been more than 10 years principal dancer in Oleg Danovski Ballet Theater in Constanța, in Romania. And since 2011, I started to teach also ballet in different countries. I was invited as a ballet teacher. Now, a little bit about myself, why I'm in this seminar, webinar. I want to say, first of all, then all the institutions in Romania are based on Vaganova method. So all the institutions where is the ballet, where we perform ballet, all the schools, we follow this method. I was so lucky. Then I had a great teacher who was trained in St. Petersburg, Liliana Pavlovsky, which with her I finished in Romania, the school. And after this, I got a 1-year scholarship to Moscow. In Moscow, I had under the famous director Sofia Nikolaevna Golovkina in that year, in 96. And after this, my technique, my body become very strong. Then I become principal dancer in my company. After so many years dancing, I never got injured. This I want to say. Then this method, this Vaganova method is so well done. And I'm sure that many science, many doctors, many sportive doctors, maybe they check this method and they find out that then all this gradual way to teach and to learn it's very good for the kids, for students. Then if they will learn very well, they will never get injured. The body, it's very important. Also the torso in the Vaganova method, where the shoulders, the hips is like a square. So this square never should be how it's called, switch, yeah, never should be twisted. And we have to be very careful as a teachers how we teach our kids from the beginning, very with patience. We don't have to jump all over many things, so we have to keep our patience to get ready with them to go to the middle, to the center work, because if not, we will go back to the bar and come back to the same exercises day by day until they become stronger. Now, I'm also studying in the university, my master degree in the big university in Romania, Gheorghe Dima in Cluj, under amazing teacher with the PhD, Nicoleta Demian, and I'm studying the pedagogy in the ballet. And my degree will be in biomechanics. So Vaganova, it's amazing system. This helped me a lot also in my study. This I want to share with everyone. If someone has some questions, I'm open. I want to say also many Romanian teachers in all around the world, they also teach Vaganova, because we are training in this in Romania.
Mrs. Olympia, Miss Francesca is asking you, where did you study in Moscow for that year? Where exactly?
In Bolshoi Academy, I got the scholarship, and
in Bolshoi Theater.
In Bolshoi Academy, in Bolshoi Theater, yes. But
yes, okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Are you going to share some screen?
Maybe next time. I was okay. I have so many exams in my university. Then okay. Maybe next time when we'll meet, of course I will.
I'm so happy to hear that a dancer is not just a mechanical dancer. It's a person who has touched the real soul of creation of Vaganova, of our lovely Agrippina Vahanyan. She has suffered in her life so much that in order not to go deep into the depression, she has concentrated all her mind and all her energy forwarded to creating something new that will help the humanity to go forward, to be more advanced. The sacred geometry in space that was shown by Mr. Ratevosyan, correct position in the space towards the audience, all these are based on the method created by Vaganova. We all feel very good after our performances if we do the classical ballet every day, Vaganova system. Others, I have discussed this with my colleagues, others, like, I don't want to give the name, if they do other ballet style, their knees are out, their back is like falling, their muscles are falling, their body is a bit like rounded. But whoever is doing ballet with Vaganova style is becoming like dear, beautiful girls, boys. They become perfect. Their body is just to have as an example and make a sculpture.
May I add something? Yeah, so
sure.
We all who practice Vaganova, we can recognize dancers training in this system because they are extremely artistic and with great understanding of the usage of certain body parts, you know, and very strong back, aplomb, and as Mr. Marx said, and beautiful arms, beautiful grace.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks so much, Miss Olympia.
Thank you also. Thank you very much.
So Miss Cello Gemina, ACBA, is asking, are the speakers open to teaching either a masterclass online or a teacher sessions? Asking from Manila, Philippines. Miss Olympia, please write your email as well, so people will contact you. Dear participants, we have the emails in our chat. Mr. Ratevosyan, one more time, please write. Miss Lisa Nish, one more time, write your email, because people who are entering now, they don't see the old chat. They don't see the old conversation. So in order to have all the data, all the information, how they can contact you, keep writing, like after 5 minutes, all the time, write. Our next speaker, I hope she's here, Mrs. Cécile Daniker from France.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Bonjour to everybody.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Hello. Thank you for being with us. The microphone is yours, ma'am.
I am very thrilled that these Vaganova webinars are taking place. I was trained very young by Verena Chineva, who was a prima ballerina with Diaghilev. And she had the old school from the Mariinsky Theater and from Czechedy. And as my career took me also to other teachers, because I was first an international ice skater and I did ballet for the ice skating. And then I continued in a career as a dancer in many different companies. I have always been interested in choreography, in the lack of choreography at my time, and now it's being done, of the Romantic period of ballet, like the same time in opera, bel canto, because the Romantic period is the rich era of the development of the steps that we now have in classical dance. And as I ended my dancing career, I've always been interested in teaching, because we have to hand on what we have received from our great teachers. Having been in different companies and with different teachers, I had a chance to work in the Danish school, in the Czechedy school, the English school. Of course, my first school is Russian school. And I found that I was coming to a point, although I had many different maîtres de ballet who were Russian trained, that I needed more training as a teacher. And I was very lucky to have a chance to work with Peggy Arnold Willis, who studied in St. Petersburg to train teachers in the Vaganova method. She died several years ago. She left a very important work on how to teach the Vaganova method. And coming at this from someone who has done sports work. And if you are an ice skater, if you are not on your plan, you fall down. And applying this to teaching classical dance, I can only say that Vaganova did an enormous study of how to teach ballet. The first thing that struck me about the Vaganova teaching was Vaganova took Allegro. She took all the movements in Allegro and she broke them down into pieces. And from each piece, it is a complete form of the whole form, which is why when she teaches the first 3 years, nothing is missing. it is just a small, small element, like an atom of the whole movement, which happens when you put it all together. This is why the students have such a complete base to become artists. The music, the head positions, the arm positions, and of course, how to stand on the legs. And this from the very first class. What I notice in the Vaganova method, compared to all the other systems that exist, is that, first of all, you never go on to the next movement until the first movement is completely mastered. She explains exactly how you hold the bar. And you must tell your students how to hold the bar. The hands on the bar facing shoulders. No thumbs under the bar. Elbows in front of the body, but not straight. Elbows not behind the body because the shoulders go up. This is all basically training how to stand with the back. For 3 years, you never lift your leg higher than 90 degrees. This is a magic position. This will reinforce all the body in the lower back to have strong spine. The strong spine muscle is like a tree. The trunk is strong and the branches can move. The students must be trained slowly. In many methods, they start much too fast. You cannot learn dance or learn to play the piano or anything without very slow, repetitive movement, but it has to be logical. And that is why the Vaganova method develops not only strong dancers, but also gives one a chance to become an artist. Because if the body is strong, you can then have no force in the arms. They are fluid. The strength is in the back. But it comes from the way she teaches the children at the beginning. And many, many times in other schools, they quickly on to fast movements, entre chaque quatre before they can do changement de pied correctly, and all kinds of things like this. The Vaganova method also has rules for everything, and it is logical. For example, we do rond de jambe par terre without crossing the foot, because you cannot pass your foot through. It has to go through first position. This logical movement of the leg on the floor, we have in the air. You do développé en avant, like Monsieur Max said, and the retiré is on the side to go back. It's the same logic as rond de jambe par terre. It is the third position in retiré. We have retiré front, retiré side, retiré back. So anytime we are changing from the retiré, we have to pass through this first position in higher position. And I find that this teaching method, there is an enormous need to share with many teachers so that they can understand there is really a very scientific and artistic method that works on everyone. That's the only thing wrong with the method. It works on everyone. And you can use this method even for amateur students, because the amateur student will not go at the same speed of a student who trains every day. But first of all, as Christina said, there is no injury in this teaching, because you're always seeking to have your équilibre, your aplomb, your balance. The center of the body must always be over your axis. So it doesn't matter how difficult the movement if you always come down and go up straight. And this comes from, of course, the first work and turning out the legs. Because in other schools, they say it's very dangerous to turn out the legs. Of course, if they don't turn the legs out the right way and they don't use the muscles the right way, then of course it is dangerous. But if you take children and you place them with the 2 feet parallel and you say, now we are going to move the heels forward, not the toes back, the heels forward, and they straighten the legs and they use the buttock muscles, the hip muscles and the stomach muscles to hold the position, this is not dangerous. And we cannot do ballet unless we turn out our legs. It is even more dangerous not to turn out the legs, because then you're going to have stress on the knee and the hip. So the turnout is very essential from the very beginning, and we use the bar to obtain the strength in the body. That's the reason we use the bar. It's not just decorative. We use the bar to gain strength to hold the positions. So I would like to share this is my experience as a teacher, and I continue to study and to listen to what everyone says. I'm very interested about the Italian frappe, because I never understood why she never used this, Vaganova, where they hit the floor with the half toe. But now I can quite see the danger for the knee and young students. Also, the frappe is the movement for taking off from jumps. So you need to have a very fast reflex from the retiré to open. And the fondue, of course, is the going down from the jumps. Also, everything she has in her method is a rule or a theory. For example, she has that you must never have the second position wider than your hips, because the second position, your heel has to be under the hip, because it's your motor to go up on half toe and it's your motor to jump. And these schools have second position like a grand écart, big split. You can do this, but it is not related to training for dance and ballet. Everything we do, we have to do exercise that will come to the advanced class. And it has to be a piece of the movement in the advanced class. So the rules are very important. The rules how you hold the bar, the rules of the order of the class, the port de bras when you start the port de bras. It is very, very important that more teachers know that there are rules like this. For example, if you are in attitude effacée, in academic class, you do promenade, en dedans. And if you are in attitude croisée, you teach promenade en dehors. But it is just, afterwards, of course, in advanced class, you can break the rules. And you teach the children all these things. You teach them there are 5 positions sur le coup de pied. There is coup de pied entouré, surrounded the ankle, coup de pied conditionnel, coup de pied low, high conditionnel, one position and coup de pied in the back and never touching the toes to the leg. And the final one is the sur le coup de pied for battement serré battu. So I don't know, maybe I see many of you agree with me. So I hope you are teaching this method. I want to take a flag, and I would want to thank Madame Vaganova for this enormous thinking of this. I think she was a genius, because she had many wonderful people around her who influenced her. I mean, she worked with Nikolai Legat, who was a student of Johansen. Johansen is a student of Bournonville. So we have the French school coming from Bournonville and also from Carlo Blasis. And she, of course, saw, and I'm so sorry we have no video of the class of Johansen, because Karsavana talks about Johansen and what an absolutely fantastic teacher he was, and Legat also. She was very much influenced by Nikolai Legat. If you have a chance to find his book with his 5 classes that were written down, very, very interesting exercises from Legat. And of course, Cecchetti, she used the Italian technique for point work. She does not creep up, go up slowly and point, you bring the toes up right away like jumping. So her theory about point work, which is what Monsieur Max said, is that you don't need a whole class on point work because point work is the same as jumping. And you never put a student on point until you can see the student goes up right away with her feet, which is why in the class, the end of the class for the young students ends with ton levé in first, sixth and first position. Trampolino, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, quick. And you can see if the students' legs and the knees are electric, if they are working. And then, you know, and the young student, now I can try putting on point because it's the same technique. So you don't need hours of point class. That's why it's not even too useful to do a whole point class. If you have the correct training on half point and much demi-point work. That is also what is missing in the other systems, because the demi-point work at the bar is essential. Otherwise, the muscles become enormous and and heavy. They need the releve and to pull the whole body up over the legs. So there, I share with you what I teach and what I'm trying to do here in France, but this is against the French system, completely against French system. But I am only French adopted. I am American, Swiss, and I now live many years in France. And I teach here in France, so.
That was going to be my question, but you answered onto my question. I was wondering, how come in France, Vaganova system, this much deep? And you answered onto my questions. Thank you so much, Ms.
I think I am almost the only one, maybe someone else in France who teaches Vaganova system.
Thank you so much. Please, in the chat, share your email to everyone so people may contact you directly. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. Our official part has ended. All our speakers has given their speech, and sooner we will open the we will start our open discussion, so you are free to discuss and make chats, talk, etc. Dr. Raftis, are you with us to make the conclusion for our webinar, Vaganova 3? Hello? No, he's not with us. Okay, so our official part has ended, and you are welcome to ask your questions.